There's 7 weeks left.
Yeah.
You can just start
Just
taking wins
14
now.
matches,
Yeah,
right?
14 matches to go, 2 every week. So there's still a lot of the games left to be played. So Patrick can still find herself in a good spot.
Okay, let's get straight into it, Petra.
Keep Cyclone Buffoon in the opening hand going first. Without coin, it's a bit more difficult to do some of your combos because like the coin just enables a lot of stuff. Cheaper Mountain Giant, more Cyclone cards.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is where the mulligan does get interesting for me because I don't know if this is correct, but I completely understand it because you need stuff to do, and that helps a lot.
Oh yeah,
we might even see Ping turn 2, Buffoon, and then Apprentice, Banana, go. Unless there's an invocation, which, you know, whatever. Sure.
In some cases, I've seen people, she might not do it now, but some people have also played like Apprentice on 2. Just say, all right, I hope you don't have anything, and then they go Buffoon, buff up the Apprentice, and then suddenly, you know, you're kind of beating the opponent down. But I think this is one of the matchups where you don't want to do that because Blitzchung can just go something like Spring Pod, or even just Spring Pod by itself can clear it off. So
that's the problem. It's just a 1-card requirement, and a card you often want in your open hand anyway. And for me as well, one thing. I think you still Buffoon.
Yeah, no, you still Buffoon. No, you don't do it this turn.
Yeah.
You just weave in the bananas. This also means. Well, go ahead. You know.
Okay. I'll go, then you go.
Sure.
Deal. Okay. You can go first next time.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is, we talk a lot about the variance in mage spells. But I feel like versus Hunter, the variance like doesn't feel as bad because all of the AoE is good. Blast Wave is good enough.
Yeah.
Right? All of the AoE is good enough. All of the direct damage is good enough to kill specific tools, to kill specific minions, and then you have the tools to, like, more minion generation is obviously what you want in this deck anyway. So I feel like in this matchup, the random spells you're going to generate, or Patra's going to generate from this big turn, are always going to be at minimum decent. At minimum, there's going to be no whiffs.
I wanted to go in very quickly because
yeah, you need to make some decisions.
Not that many decisions, but depending on what's off a magic trick, you could take a long time to think about that. So
I've magic tricked 5 times in a row before. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Magic trick, magic trick, magic trick.
So she actually has the mana to pick up Entity here. And I really like this. It's just something else that helps you fight a little bit for board. And it's a secret that makes Blitzchung potentially have to consider playing around. So I like this a lot since you have the evocation for the Mana Cyclone.
It's like the perfect turn, right?
No, this is really good. The only thing, Ray of Frost instead of the Giant would have been the perfect turn. It's nice having the Giant as something to develop, but Ray of Frost would have also let you kill off the Amisha.
I think I'd rather take a Giant.
Yeah?
Because a Giant's an actual minion you can do. You know, spells are great.
True.
But the thing is, this Giant, although it's going up in mana cost, is very quickly going to go back down again as soon as the Cyclone hits the board. So the Giant is sick, because Lloyd could just play it next turn. Did get a Ray of Frost anyway, just do it all.
Cool.
Okay, so there's the Lunar Pocket Galaxy as well. Small note, Patra is playing 1 Sandbinder and a Luna, so Luna's Pocket Galaxy with Luna is often pretty decent too.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool combo. That's why they're named after each other. Well, the Galaxy after Luna.
Are you sure?
Yeah. The Galaxy belongs to Luna.
Okay. I was just making sure we understood the chicken and egg scenario.
No.
And
I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
but
it is.
It's very similar though, yeah.
You could fall into that trap though. Was Luna named after the galaxy, so she made a pocket version of it? Think about that one.
Blitzchung taking a risk here. Obviously, it is technically a random secret. Pathra did discover it, but the chances of it being counterspell aren't that likely. So he does just go for the mark shot, saying, I just want that Apprentice off the board. Works out.
The big key is she didn't discover it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times, for example, Keysmith, at the moment, often gives you the secret that you really want. So the Giant there, like I said, was important as far as I'm concerned. Getting something down to play and actually provide a threat is huge because all the spells in the world, unless they're all Fireballs and Frostbolts, you still have to win the game.
There's the only way to get at this from Blitzchung's point of view is literally the one of Deadly Shot? Yeah, 1 Deadly Shot on the main list, and I don't even think you'd want to take the 1 and 3 here.
I think you just Hunter's Mark Kill Command.
Oh yeah, I guess you can do that. Oh, I didn't see the Kill Command. I was hiding behind the Hounds.
There's a lot of cards in hand, to be fair.
But still, like from Patra's perspective, if the Hunter's reacting, that's good for you because normally the Hunter's going in and you're 100%. Like, okay, I need to stop damage, I need to develop my own game plan. But this is Patra's in a good spot here. Yeah,
one thing to note though, Hunter has gotten a lot better because of Call the Wild. Not Call the Wild, I always call that Master's Call. Yeah. I always call it Call the Wild, honestly, it's crazy. Because I play the deck a lot. But yeah, Master's Call means the deck's gotten a lot better at playing it a little bit slower and playing a little bit more combo. Already, look at Tundra's Rhino Unleash Hyena. It's a very straightforward entry combo sort of thing, but that is scary, and Pathra can't just go wide with a load of little things, because the second the taunts go away,
I
she
actually
could
just
just
don't
die.
like this one. I wanted to develop the Spellbender here instead of go Magic Trick, because there's very few things you could actually get off of this you want to play this turn anyways.
Or even if you can play them, they don't make an impact, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And, if she's doing this because she wants to go Cyclone, I feel like you're not getting enough Cyclone value. Like, sure, your hand's already kind of full, but you can save the Cyclone for later. It doesn't have to come down now. Now, I was saying she was in a good spot last turn, but now that the Giant's gone, she doesn't have that much to develop, which is why I kind of want the Spellbender to kind of, if she can't develop her own game plan, kind of try to put a wrench in Blitzchung's, you know?
And that's the problem with just a hard play Giant, is that, again, Pathra is playing Archmage Antonidas, but outside of that, it's all about Conjurer's Call on Giants. And now you don't have any. But, you know, obviously there isn't a Conjurer's Call in hand anyway, so she had to do something. But I just mean, like, the repercussions of losing your Giant solo.
Yeah. I feel like the Spellbender would have been much, much better. With a Magic Trick, you're not even 100% sure. I mean, against Hunter, you can kind of get a sense of some of the spells that are good against Hunter, but depending on the situation, you might not know exactly which spell is the exact one you want. Like, for example, with this Unleash coming out, alright, well, most of the minions are going to be traded off, but let's say there were some Hounds left on the board. Instead of Frostbolt, maybe you would have wanted a Shooting Star. Right? So
yeah, exactly.
You don't quite know the exact card you need, and you just had a play that was just good there. And in the Spellbender, with a Mark Shot and a Kill Command and a Hunter's Mark gone, there's not that many more ways to proc it, so if you just block Dire Frenzy, that's kind of huge. And if they have to play Dire Frenzy, and they just say, alright, if you have Spellbender, you have Spellbender, you get a 4/6. So, I don't know.
I think as well, the real fear, or what I found was very powerful with this matchup specifically, is the Zul'jin turn often has very limited answers from the mage. If you get to play Zul'jin, I mean, most classes have this issue, but Warriors have Brawl, for example, but as the mage, unless you have very specific, like, sort of generated spells, or you lethal them, you've got very few answers to that board, and you will often just die.
There's a few Unleash the Beast on the board, you know, some
Animal
Master Skulls go off.
Animal Comp's a big deal too.
A Deadly Shot goes off sometimes.
Right, yeah. It's kind of scary, isn't it? And if Blitzchung gets there, and with the Unleash the Beast, and, you know, even like Tundra Rhino and some Shimmer Flies, you've got enough stuff to bridge the gap to turn 10 quite easily.
Patrick cleaning up the Scavenging Hyena here. Definitely good. You don't want that lying around. Ice Bear can help stall a bit later, get some extra health. Blitzchung has a few options here.
I'd really like Shimmer Fly and Unleash the Beast.
Yeah, just get it out there, spend the mana. You have Zul'jin. I don't hate this.
I think I prefer doing it with more stuff, or doing it with an animal companion.
Yeah, there's a bunch of random stuff in Patra's hand. I'd rather she use that to, like, get rid of Unleash the Beast. Obviously, we can see that very few of those cards are actually going to help her clean up the Tundra Rhino, but I feel like this is just a fine turn to get out the Unleash the Beast.
Rapid Fire's not half bad either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I like Unleash the Beast because it often doesn't help you anyway. So just play it to kill something off and give the threat of a 5/5. Then play it. You could have played it this turn with a Shimmerfly, and then next turn you can play it with, you know, another 1-drop, and then just two 1-drops, then keep pushing, and then just tell, like, Pathra cannot feel comfortable playing a Giant Conjurers into a board that already has a 5/5 on it, or even a 5/3 or whatever, right? Because you lose almost half your Giant already, and Hunter's pretty good at damage from hand.
Crossbow coming out from Pathra. She could develop the Sea Giant, but I don't think leaving a Rhino on the board is a good idea. So
it's almost like not developing the Sea Giant is leaving the Rhino on board, because it's the same thing. It has to be
she's considering Cinderstorm. Maybe just get it out of the hand now. But I think you just want to Fire Blast and say, all right, let's just be safe.
You're not hitting too hard of a punish, leaving the Timberwolf up for 1 turn. But still, you know, this is the trick, right?
So Pathra knows that there's another Rush minion in Blitzchung's hand, one of the leftover links.
I think you trade that 2-1 off.
Yeah, that's fine.
you do have to have, while you've not got a deadly shot, you do have to have a mind for Sea Giant at least. So
Right.
I really like this play from
simplifying it a
Blitzchung.
bit.
Blitzchung plays so solid, honestly. It's like, I can't even often recall plays where I'm like, nah, I don't think I would have done that. Maybe there was the Rhino play, but outside of that, like, I don't know. Blitzchung plays very, very solid.
Nova Snap freeze an option here.
It's tough though, right? Because it's just one of 2 5/5s that are in hand. It's like,
Right.
yeah, Mage, how does it feel seeing your opponent play a spell and know they have the same one again in hand? Welcome to our world with Conjurer's Calling.
What I was getting at with the entity from Pathra, like she knew that there was another 1/1 rush in Blitzchung's hand, but Blitzchung also knows that Pathra knows that. So by playing the mirror entity, maybe she was trying to bait
Right.
Blitzchung, making him think that like, oh, I wouldn't play another entity if there was a 1/1.
Right,
Blitzchung wasn't having any of that.
Well, also as well, it's like, well, I make them spend 1 mana on a 1/1. Rush.
Sure.
You
I
know,
mean,
like,
yeah, you
there's
don't
a
have
certain
anything else to
value
do.
of like, because also Hunter doesn't have that many minions that they would play into entity that are that good for you anyway, right? Yeah, there's not that much stuff.
Oof, losing a conch. So Pathra just went Focus Spectres, drew 3 cards. One was a conch calling. I do agree she needed to do something and just at some point take the risk, because you can't just remove Hunter's stuff forever, right? You need to develop your own game plan and win, because eventually the Hunter is going to do something that you can't remove.
This turn.
Yeah.
All this is now is, I think Derek will correct me if this is too old a meme to go to,
Sure.
but he's basically slapping Zul'jin on the top of the head, saying you can fit a lot of spells, and
Yeah.
it's just jamming all. I mean, this is just a good turn
This is a
anyway.
good turn.
But the fact you just lock it into Zul'jin doesn't have to be played next turn at all. There's still the second, Unleash the Beast and so on, but just locking it in and saying, Patrick, you don't only have to deal with this board. If you deal with it, I can just do it again.
Yep.
And then deal with it the second time. It's extremely unlikely.
No, I think that meme's fresh enough. You're good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure Derek will let you know after, but
Did you see Derek's interview thing he tweeted?
no, I don't think I did.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil it,
Okay.
but I'll give you the build-up.
Sure.
The build-up is, it's basically a clip, and it's TJ and Frodam doing a post-match interview for Grandmasters.
Okay.
Americas, of course.
Sure.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Gotcha.
Look at the tweet, guys. Nice shout out for Derek. But it is very funny. I watched it when I woke up this morning, and it was a weird video to watch as soon as you wake up. But let's go back to this game.
draw-
What does Patrick even do? What
That's
can
the
she
thing.
even
So
do?
you're at 25 health. You can afford to take 10 once. So maybe you
Well,
just say,
twice,
all right,
actually, if you
sure.
want to get technical.
Maybe she just takes this turn and say, all right, I need to get stuff on the board. Like a conch calling's gone. I can't really just keep digging for other stuff. So let's go. And I do like that she took this line. It doesn't look great, obviously, but you need to do something, and doing nothing is much worse. Freezing Trap is sick. The Kill Command's sick too. The Cybertext trip's not bad. You get some more gas. But I think we will see a Freezing Trap here. Maybe not. Maybe.
I think
What? Go
this
for
is
it.
just the way I play. I think I would just Kill Command the name, Kill Command face or something.
If Pathra was a bit lower, I'd be okay with it. I mean, sure, you can push 10 this turn, but
But then you just play Zul'jin and he Kill Command's face again. With the Huffer.
could be your face, though.
No. That's not how you play Hunter. Language check. Are you a Hunter player? Are you
I played it at Worlds. It was okay.
Yeah. So by the sounds of it, no.
Too soon, Raven.
Oh, sorry, man.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm not the... Okay.
Okay, that's a good card. Never mind. Forget about it all. Play the Die Frenzy, go face.
Dr. Timberwolf. Oink Oink?
Yes.
Oink Oink?
No.
No?
I think.
I like Freezing Trap
I-
trade, but
I-
Oink Oink is tempting.
Well, I was going to Die Frenzy the 5/5s, believe it or not. Because you get a rushing minion that kills a giant.
5/5s can't go face.
No, but they kill a giant, which can be a taunt, which effectively opens up face damage.
Okay. Blitzchung killing off the Mountain Giant that can be Conjurer's Calling into a taunt, and rightfully so.
I will say as well, though, this whole choice from Blitzchung is reflective of the Conjurer's Calling being thrown away.
Oh yeah.
Because Freezing Trap doesn't often do too much if your opponent's plan is to just Conjurers, and then I'll just kill you next turn when Freezing Trap doesn't matter.
Right.
Whereas with one of the Conjurers gone away, Blitzchung is, and the way Patra's played, for example, is Patra ever going to play Mountain Giant, Sea Giant when she has a Conjurers in hand? No.
Probably
literally
not.
don't
Yeah.
make that play. You mounting giant and conjurers, or whatever. So the Blitzchung is fully aware that the second conjurers isn't available. Hence why freezing trap is so much better than it is or would be otherwise. So just heads up play and keeping with the flow of the game,
Yeah,
and
I like it a
there's
lot.
changes in the game.
After smelling a freezing trap, she can throw down the Ziliax, aim at the 5/5. If it's not freezing trap, you can Cinderstorm to try and clean up. But if it is freezing trap, then you don't get your giant frozen at least. I'd like to see trade Spellbender Ping.
No, face.
Maybe. You're at 17.
If you trade it, how do you ever win? Is my I'm not saying I'm right again. It's just my constant fear that when you play defensive with this deck against a deck that can now just remove stuff or push more damage this turn, how do you win?
Well, first of all, I think from Patrick's perspective, if Blitzchung ever has Zul'jin, you're not getting the win. Like it's very
Right.
unlikely this ever turns into a win now for
Order.
Pathra.
So sick.
But if you just go face it from Patrick's perspective, and Blitzchung deals with your giant, you're pretty much dead.
Okay.
Like there's just so many ways for that giant to be cleared if you.
Oh, bad hunter play, Blitzchung. Come on.
I mean,
Bad hunter play, Blitzchung.
doo-doo.
Also, one of the reasons why I like the Dire Frenzy earlier is that you either Zul'jin Masters calls and plays Dire Frenzy, so it increases like really good chances if you draw in the big beast to play. This was still obviously
This was still good. It could have
game-winning
been
Zul'jin, of
right,
course, but when like Zul'jin in post Dire Frenzy is a beautiful thing as long as it doesn't go off first.
I mean, look at Blitz. Even his hand before and after, right? He just gains so many more resources as well.
Oh, it's sick. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Patrick knows it's a freezing trap because that's what was played earlier this game. Zul'jin replaying all spells that have been played previously.
Correct.
This game, not ever.
Ever. Never
This
ends.
set, can
Like,
you imagine? That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that. I mean, I literally think it's uncodable because Hearthstone's
It'd be
not
across,
played
yeah,
in
multiple
fixed
games.
series. But imagine that.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of Hunter.
Imagine if like the more you know the way there's the pack thing where the more packs you open without a legendary, the
Sure.
more chance you get
Yeah.
a legendary. I can't remember what do they call it.
The pity timer.
Yes. Imagine if there's pay time for the coin.
Ooh.
The more times you play a game without coin, the more chance there is to get
Yeah.
a coin. That's interesting.
Funny you say that. If you talk to some pro players, some will try
Believe.
to convince you. No, yeah,
Yeah.
they believe. Yeah.
Although the weird thing is the argument for belief that you get the coin 50% of the time? Because that's not really an argument, is it?
Oh,
Because
no.
that's part
They believe
like,
it's
you're meant
more
to get
likely
the
in some
coin.
cases. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like you're meant to get the coin 50% of the
course.
time, right? So it's like such a roundabout argument. But yeah, while we're talking absolute gibberish, it's mainly because we're giving time for Patrick to just work out if there's any chance of winning this game, because I cannot see it. Even you look at things like the Stranglethorn Tiger, forget about Dire Frenzy and the Animal Companion potentially getting some more damage along with the hero power over a few turns. Even just the Tiger playing it and then hitting face pretty much wins Blitzchung the game. So it's just like, that's just one card out of a full hand right now.
It's interesting if you compare this to the Mech Hunter matchup, right? Against the Mech Hunter just has a very, very straightforward game plan. And as the reason we saw the Mage being able to win that game with the Omega Medic and Ziliax coming back with a healing is just because the Mech Hunter just didn't have any more gas, and that was kind of it. But Blitzchung, sure, his initial assault didn't get there, like his secondary assault didn't get there, but he just has enough stuff.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Like even if Pathra happens to do like something crazy, miraculous like that, let's find 3 Omega Medics, throw in a couple more Ziliaxes, a few Face Collectors. Blitzchung just has gas. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of confused by this play though.
a Snake Trap.
Everything.
I missed the attack. So the
So
spring.
the attack went into the 3-1. He wants to trade off the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Right.
I think Blitzchung might be thinking, how in the world do I lose this game? Whereas maybe mindlessly, I would have gone, Tundra Rhino, Dire Frenzy, or Tundra Rhino Animal Companion.
I didn't even
and
save
pushed
that for
like
now.
a ton of damage to the face.
I mean, there's only like 3 random secrets, 3 random spells left in Patra's hand. I think Blitzchung just wants a big board here. Like the Tundra Rhino, if you just happen to, well, actually, first of all, Patra's running Snap Freeze in the deck, so that could just let, like, if you spend 9 mana on the Rhino Dire Frenzy, it's possible there's some sort of blowout. Okay.
Well, at minimum, you can put them to 2, guaranteed, right? You put them to 1 guaranteed, don't you?
Would it have been enough?
Oh no, sorry, no. It'll be 5. Okay, so not that. What else?
6 damage you would have, I think.
But what? So can you? What about the animal companion rhino hero power? That would have been a lot of damage.
Pathra trying to go for the mulch muncher out, get that frozen, and then kill something else.
That barrier has to happen, right?
10, 14. Yeah, the barrier does have to happen. If
But
it
even
does,
then, it's not.
yeah, it's not going to be enough. But at this point, if Pathra Conj Callings, it's still not going to be enough either way.
The problem with the Conjurer's Calling is there's now not enough room to get Big Bag Archmage and summon a 6-drop.
Right.
So you literally cannot get the taunt, and you know the most munches are going to be bounced, so that's still not looking great.
I didn't realize Blitzchung was in fatigue, but
He played both Krakens before Zul'jin.
Oh, that would escalate things really quickly.
So we're going to discover the ice barrier, but I'm pretty sure that's just fine. Again, like I mentioned, this Tiger is just always 5 damage at a complete minimum. It's insane.
Curious as to why he didn't play in the middle, but that's fine. Player on Kono Cold.
Oh, sure, okay. I was like, what are you playing? Just checking, going through the motions of saying, okay, now there's 14 damage.
All right.
I'll take that.
A lot of different lethals here with Blitzchung.
Yeah,
It's going to go with Dire Frenzy Ping.
So much. It's insane, and there's the victory for Blitzchung.
All right, so Blitzchung chose to cut a Marked Shot, a Tiger, and a Rhino.
Nice.
That's a good question. I'm surprised to see Mountain Giants cut. It's possible that was tailored for a more aggressive deck she was expecting,
like Zoo and
not
Druid.
right, like Zoo, Token Druid, even Mech Hunter. I'm not even sure that you'd want to cut Giants against Mech Hunter because you need some sort of game plan to get you there.
Right.
But against Zoo or Token Druid, I feel like cutting the Giants could work out for you. The Mountain Giants could work out for you.
Okay, well, just a reminder, Pathra, of course, you can see on screen, is playing Mountain Giant. She is on her primary list, so the list we saw last game. Blitzchung shifted over to this tertiary list, which is much more just top face aggressive. It does hurt me a little bit that the Stranglethorn Tiger was removed, because I think that card's sick. But yeah, we'll see what he does. And here's the first decision point, right? Aggressive cards versus Zul'jin. He picks aggressive.
Patra's obviously not going to know this. She can't really play expecting, no
Zul'jin. Yeah.
Right. So she's on still the normal game plan, excuse me. Blitzchung, however, knows he needs to be a lot more aggressive now because of that choice.
Oh, Bomb Toss, that'll do. I'll switch over to Mech Hunter. Yeah. Pathra sees Bomb Toss, is like, wait, what? What were the 10 cards again? Let me just check.
Blitzchung holding the Timber Wolf here. It would only push 1 damage, but it is more on board. Yeah, I think he's holding it for the Unleash.
Yeah. Because if the images come down, right? The problem is you don't want to see the big turn and then not have it, right? And have it cleaned off, because it's just a waste.
Ooh. Just Arcane Intellect from Pathra coming out here. I mean, not a whole lot you can do. Sure, you can double Ray of Frost the Hyena.
I'm gonna sell you a play. Right?
Apprentice, Coin, AI, double Ray of Frost.
Oh no, Blitzchung play. Of course,
go for it.
Blitzchung bomb tosses his own minion to buff the Hyena.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I like it.
That seems sick. Because the problem is, Ray of Frost, like, I was a little bit... Pathra made a good play just getting some draw done, because there's nothing for the Hyena or a minion to trade into to buff the Hyena. Yeah. But the problem is, Ray of Frost just kills it if it's 2/2.
Yeah.
This would make it much more difficult. Obviously, we see Patra's double Snap Freeze, which helps a lot. But I think I would like to see the Bomb Toss on the 1/1 here. Maybe I'm too...
Maybe too fancy. Remember what happens when you make fancy plays, Raven?
Oh, I can make fancy plays with Hunter, though. It's the one class I think I can.
I think just weaving it in is fine. If it gets frozen, there's going to be a lot of other stuff going on anyway, so I don't think Blitzchung's too concerned with buffing it just to get out of Ray of Frost range. Like, honestly, if Patra's double Ray of Frosting, she can still just ping it off later as well.
True.
Or even on the same turn, depending on what spell she would use.
I'm going to sell you a play next turn. Baited Arrow your own minion.
That is much better, because it instead of developing a 0/2 that you can't really synergize with, you develop a 5/5.
Right. Much harder for Pathra to deal with too. Although these snap freezes, you can see with the Sorcerer's Apprentice and the Ray of Frost, deal with anything that is targetable.
It's true. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mountain Giant Ray of Frost here.
Okay, next question. Do you Ray Frost the 1/1 or the 2/2?
2/2.
Okay.
You have Snap Freeze, so you don't care if that gets bigger. She could even just not.
She's gonna kill it.
Someday I'll be just like you.
I'm not in love with this play, but okay.
What don't you like about this play?
You're using coin here and both Rays of Frost. Like your next couple, I guess you do have Sandbinder, so you have something to do next turn. I just feel like you're not getting value out of the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
So my thought is the problem that without you might not draw Mana Cyclone this game.
Right, that's true.
And without that, well, you can save cards for a day that's never going to come.
You have Tony in hand too. It's unlikely you get to that point, but the Hunter hasn't done that much. You didn't see a Dire Frenzy come down. This is probably just fine.
Whoa, that's a little bit scary too. Hunting Party. Not a card you're going to put in your deck, but a card that's scary in itself anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too influential this game. Blitzchung clearing of the board here. Invests a lot of resources, but does clear the board. Also has to give up the Timberwolf for that, so Unleash becomes a bit more difficult to utilize against the mirror images.
Also, no fear of the giant conjurers, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not, the hand size isn't small.
Well, I don't like that mirror images. I think Petra needs to slow down a little bit. I think the Apprentice turn was okay, but I would have liked saving it. The Sandbiter does mean you're likely to get a Cyclone back, and with all these cheap spells in hand...
Okay, that's a good one.
It's turn 6, it's green.
It's so good. You know what's really funny is I don't think people valued Rush that much, and now just because of the state of the Hearthstone meta, Rush is fantastic. Like a 6-mana 5/5 is a bad card, but when you add up 6-mana 5/5 with Rush, but then it also adds another one in your hand, like, it's
pretty cool.
The card's nuts. So good.
I mean, imagine now Pathra had an Apprentice left over, right?
Oh, it's easy to say
okay,
now. Like,
yeah. So we're
I'm
sure.
gonna do this.
Okay, fine.
No, go on.
But not even speaking results oriented. Like obviously, sure, she needed to draw the Cyclone, but that was very likely with the Sandbinder already in hand.
And even one giant already played.
True, it's possible she could have drawn another giant instead, but at that point, fine, you have another giant. And even if you have the other giant, it's better to have more cards in hand so that giant is playable. I don't know if I like the Apprentice. So it pushes more on board, but your opponent has a Hatchet already. You don't even have Conch Calling, so it's not like you're trying to pull away from the giant and say, deal with my Apprentice, leave my giant up. So I feel like it was used a bit too hastily.
So really, yeah, it's just the long-term game plan was not there. It is sacrificed for a short-term safety plan.
I didn't see the short-term payoff with the use of resources there. Obviously, the Hyena's, off the board at that point, but...
Okay, decent pulls, actually.
Still
Cone
good,
of Cold
yeah.
and a Flame Strike, that is nothing to sniff at. And even Splitting Image, with the way this deck works, can be consistently quite good. Blitzchung has the choice to trade off or push, but I think Blitzchung is just very happy right now with a relatively empty board.
Yeah, seems fine. Pathra is running Sea Giants, right? So
yeah, but the slow, right? That's the problem. Sea Giant, great, you're dead.
You can play it now for 4 mana and Conch
dead.
Calling it, but you're just dead if you do that. 6, 8, 10, 12, so yeah, exactly lethal. On board anyways.
Flame Strike.
Not bad, on curve. Cleans up the
Still
board.
2 damage from the bomb.
And you kind of see the aggressive game plan from Blitzchung, recognizing that
So
holding...
sick. The matchup is so, honestly, when I've been playing this, the matchup is so hard for the mage.
No, I agree.
It's
And
insane.
Blitzchung definitely recognizes what he needs to do, because, like, you can't just wait. Sure, Zul'jin is great once you get to that point, but you need to be able to do other stuff. Otherwise, you give the mage time.
But the problem is, like, versus, like, mech is one-dimensional, and it can be frozen out, literally, right? Whereas this deck, I feel like there are so many different ways to push damage from hand, through spell, through discovery of spells, and through minions, that it's so much more difficult to play around. Like, I feel this is better than Mech Hunter. Like I said, maybe I'm just biased, I prefer the style, but I feel like the flexibility is the power in this deck.
I agree. I like this deck a lot. I'm surprised more people didn't try this out. I mean, Mech Hunter's been bouncing around a lot very recently, so it's possible that was kind of flavorful in people's mind, like, oh, you know what, Mech Hunter's pretty good again. Let me try Mech Hunter. I've been seeing a lot of that, so maybe it was also just a matter of people haven't been testing all the different options available. I mean, there are a lot of decks, and the nerfs happening so recently, you can't play 50 decks and say, okay, this is the one I want.
Right, yeah. Time is definitely a factor when these players have to submit. The nerfs happened earlier this week, and then boom, you've got to submit for your weekend. different, you know, there's buffs coming later, then boom, they're going to have to submit again. So it's the pressure on these players, and it's an extra level of skill requirement. Is being able to submit a list. You know a lot better than I do that, you know, the pressure you must feel to say, okay, I'm submitting this.
I need to lock it in.
It's insane. Because once you've done it, and that's just it for the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't hit anything.
Is it just too little, too late?
The conj would be great here if you had something on the board to hit, because this would be you're like, all right, this is my go turn. The problem is conjuring the Luna doesn't do a whole lot. You have the Kona Cold. Maybe this might be the play. You've seen an Unleash. What if you just go face, Khadgar, Cone of Cold, and then conj calling the Luna?
That's what I was piecing together.
I think that's the line.
And then next turn you just cross your fingers and then say this is the game right now. Let's see. But I definitely think playing aggressive you just have to do.
Yeah, I like this.
Fortunately for Pathra, it's not going to work. Because depending on what she summons, she's going to be very dead. Unless there's something I'm not thinking about that heals.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Oh wow, 1 health off saving the day. She trades off the minions.
Yeah.
He would have stopped the kill command being
So
proc.
Blitzchung has kill command for 5 damage with a beast activating it. There's the baited arrow for 3 damage. That's 8. Hero power is 10. Pathra does not have any secrets up, so this is going to be Blitzchung taking a 2-0 victory for Pathra.
Yeah, really, really heads up. And really good bring that's worked out very well for Blitzchung in this matchup. So this is first opponent done for the weekend for Blitzchung. But I love the pick straight away. He's the only player in Asia Pacific that's brought this specific style of hunter, and it's paying off in spades.
Yeah, very, very powerful, very good read. Definitely a rough matchup for Pathra. Right.
It's tough though, and again,
it's just difficult to play out. Yeah.
You know,